broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Grimm fans! Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV's Grimm After Show. Oh, guys, it's time to go on a Maiden Quest. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be talking about a Maiden Quest. It was made in Portland. I'm so sorry, guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Zach Wilson, here as we talk every week about the new episode of Grimm. You can tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the show. I got the chat roll up, and I think Yael Tygiel does too. Yep. But you can tweet at me at that Zach Wilson, or using the hashtag ABTVGrimm. That's correct. Now let me introduce my fantastic panel, or they'll introduce themselves. You guys, who are you?
Ladies first.
Okay, a lady. Welcome. I'm Yael Tygiel. You can tweet at me live at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL, and that is correct. I am in the chat roll. I just did. I reloaded. We're good. I'm there.
And y'all know me. Still same Tauri. Yeah.
Did not deserve that.
So good.
Not at all.
You can find me at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY.
Okay, guys. The quote. Mm-hmm. After 3 days and nights, whoever tries and does not succeed shall be put to death. Yeah, I like this quote. I mean, it pretty much perfectly sets up the episode. Yeah. Let's dive right into our Vessel of the Week. Which, how did you guys feel about this? Very much a return to Vessel of the Week for this episode.
I was waiting for it to tie in. I was waiting for it to be relevant. I'm gonna be honest.
And it didn't seem to.
No. Nope. I mean, I liked it. It was a good episode. I liked seeing Madeline Zima, who you all may remember from The Nanny, or from Californication, where you see her.
Wait, who is she on The Nanny? She's
the youngest daughter.
I thought she looked familiar, but I couldn't figure out where. I didn't watch Californication.
On Californication, she was very much an adult. But I felt like with the twist at the end, not to jump through the plot, but the twist at the end felt very much a reminder of season 4, episode 19, Iron Hans, which it was the daughter the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my thought. Because as soon as the second one got killed, I was like, it's her. Mm-hmm. It's definitely her.
Yeah. I mean, I thought for a second it could have been the father, but like I thought the episode was really it was true to Grimm form. It was interesting mystery. I liked that the guy that everyone was going after was a regular dude, and they were having so much trouble with it. Though in this world where we have actual like dragon people, I kind of would have liked it if it were like a dragon man.
Oh, like it specifically was about
slaying a dragon. Yeah,
that would have been interesting. I think if they had done that, as much as like in red, like I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see that. I would have been like, that's too on the nose. To be honest, I think that would be my reaction.
Yeah.
Because it's same thing like how we did
Peter Pan,
and I was just like, you can do the same story. Yeah. He didn't need to be named Peter.
Yeah.
Right.
And Wendy and John. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the quote is from I forgot to mention this, is from the Brothers Grimm story, The 12 Dancing Princesses.
Yeah. Oh. Shock.
Yeah. Well, it's not always from a Brothers Grimm story these days.
Yeah.
It could be from like Die Hard. I don't know. They pulled quotes from a lot of places.
It's true. Our first one was Aristotle or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up.
But I liked this episode as I watched it. Like, it's not a very memorable episode per se, at least the main storyline. But I do think it was necessary to do a Veson of the Week that was not hugely tying in, because the thing is, while it doesn't drive our arc forward in terms of the uprising,
right,
I think it was sort of necessary to see how Nick deals with going back to his normal day-to-day life with this new circumstance, because it drove forward how he and Adalind are living together. So in a way, doing this Veson of the Week was really more about the B story of Nick and Adalind than it was about doing a big story. It was its own piece of this arc. It just didn't seem like it on the surface, but I think it was necessary for that reason.
Yeah, and I would say that it could also, I don't know if this will actually play into it, but seeing this guy going mad from seeing all these Veson, I mean, is kind of a reflection of how people would react. So if this uprising is in fact trying to be out in the open, this could be a prime example of the reason why they can't.
Yeah, I mean, like, why you have to keep this stuff secret. Maybe it's because you have ancient traditions that you adhere to where you murder people.
Yeah.
And then you have people fighting to the death for the right to marry someone against her will.
Yeah, but at least it was always a test to show that she was ready to lead because his sons were dead.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Blah.
What?
I mean, well, yeah, because they were trying to, they were salvaging like what could have been a really like classic like. Not patriotic. Patriarchal story.
Yeah.
It's like, because in the first scene, she didn't even say a word. And I was like, is she just going to, like, stand there the whole episode? But, like, and they managed to bring it back around to where it's like, no, she's been taking charge this whole time. Though I feel like, in terms of their plan, she could have definitely just circumvented it by just killing the guy herself.
I also was thinking the same thing the first time. I was like, they cannot be wasting Madeline Zima. Like, her career has not gone that awful that they're just going to have her stand there and be a prize. But yeah, no, I agree with you that the fact that she kept saving Frankie was really obnoxious. I was like, why don't you just cut off his head?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Bring the head and be like, I did it. I marry myself. Or I marry the one I actually wanted to marry, which I killed.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
That's what's happening here.
Also, question: the bar that Frankie ran?
F-bomb.
It was F-bomb, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, his
logo was an F on a bomb.
Mm-hmm. Well, his car license plate was also F-bomb 1.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch it. I was like, I want to go to a club called F-bomb.
I totally didn't even notice that.
They like show it to you 15 times.
Yeah.
I was probably taking notes, let's be honest.
Right.
But no, I just blanked.
Mr. Goku Jr. says that she's definitely a girl worth fighting for.
Yeah. What do you want?
I mean, the question, I guess, is all right, let's get it over with. The Mogd Zoktot.
One more time.
The Mogd Zoktot.
Again?
No.
I didn't catch it. What was it?
The Ma'agd Zoktot. It's getting worse the more I do it.
Adding letters.
Because I have it written down with like extra K's, I think, than how it's actually even spelled. But so it's this Vet'en tradition.
Yes. What kind of tradition?
Vet'en.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't had to do a lot of pronunciation this season. It's been mostly Old Veson.
That's true.
This is the first, I think, new one this season.
Mm-hmm.
I like torturing you with them.
What?
I like making you say them again and again and again.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. They're hard to pronounce, and I'm not very good at it.
That's why you're leading.
Grimmaniac says I gotta get some phlegm going.
Ew.
The Mag Zochtot. It's not Hebrew.
It's not Hebrew.
And Lydia Cerebros kids keep trying.
Yeah.
No. We're gonna move forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot of in this whole thing. It's very much like that classic, like very anti-feminist stuff. But the guy that she's supposed to be like in love with or whatever, the second one, I hated him. I wanted to smack him in the face. Did anyone else catch the line where he goes, "You just worry about how to raise those kids"?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Whoa,
totally caught it.
excuse me?
So we have Isaac's the first one, Eli's the second one, who I just referred to as the hot one, and then Amos was the gay one.
Yes.
He was my favorite when he was like, "I don't want to do this. I'm gay."
See, it was interesting when they all were lined up, or at least when after the first guy got murdered,
Yeah.
after Isaac got murdered, I saw the way that they looked, and I was like, it seems like it's got to be the
hot one?
the love interest.
Yep, the hot one.
It seems like it's got to be him, but
That's too obvious.
this other guy has a shifty look. Like he had this look where he like is clearly hiding something.
Yeah.
But actually that part I think worked out well because it made me second guess what I was thinking.
Right.
I didn't think it was the daughter at this point
Right.
because there were two perfectly reasonable people who we knew were actively trying to murder someone.
Yeah.
So let's go with them. But which one is it? Because that one looks all shifty like, and not to be clear in any way because he's gay, but just because he had a secret and he was being shifty about it.
I don't know that it was even a secret. It was more of a like, I don't want to be here. I'm gay.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I had thought that when I was watching it, I thought that it was the father who was killing them to be like, "I'm your final boss, and the person who succeeds me is the person who kills me." So that was my thought in terms of the story, but it wasn't.
I'm the final boss.
Yeah, because it's a Maiden Quest.
Which Grimmaniac is helping us out. Apparently in Dutch, Maagdzoektocht translates to Virgin Quest.
Yeah.
Or Virgin Search.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Isn't that what we're all doing now?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm always in search of a good flight.
Ha! Good one.
See, that's where the drum roll goes,
Wake up,
Steven.
Steven! Yeah.
But,
Darth Machiavelli says it was Colonel Mustard, obviously.
Colonel Mustard with the sharp Vetten-Ogen teeth in the club.
Nice.
That's how it goes. It was an interesting sort of feeling we had towards was it Freddie?
Frankie?
Frankie, yeah.
I blanked for a second on his name.
F-bomb?
Because F-bomb. Because we sort of we were sort of with him for parts of it. It kept going back and forth between this guy's a D-bag to this guy's just trying not to get murdered.
I mean, it was a D-bag who was trying not to get murdered.
Yeah.
He was definitely a D-bag.
But I thought that made it very interesting towards the end, or towards the middle, I guess, more further in the story, when they start going out into... Then there were some cool moments with the attorney. Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I knew you had one on the payroll, but I didn't think you'd bring him into my office.
Yeah.
Like, you know he's a cop. Like, how are you not aware?
I really hoped that she plays a bigger role. I hope that she comes back.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this high power attorney being part of it, which could play into Adalind's thing about going back to work.
Ooh.
She could work for her. That'd be so badass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Our Grim Law and Order special is coming up.
Yes.
But it
Grim in order.
Yeah.
But so people at this point, most Vessen that we come across are aware, or a lot of Vessen, not most, but a lot of Vessen are aware that there is a Grim operating in the Portland area, and a lot of people seem aware that he's a cop.
Yeah.
Do you think that they are like that Nick is having like a good like impression on like the Vessen community at this point?
I think at this point they're aware that he's not beheading everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was surprised at her reaction. Like, if she knows that he's on the payroll
Yeah.
at the police department, certainly she knows that he's not just going around killing every Vessen, right?
Yeah, but think about I'm going to take this real bad. Think about, there's a KKK member in your neighborhood. He's not killing people now, but you don't want him walking into your office.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Fair enough. I mean, and yeah. I mean, and also, I feel like it's a very small faction of people who really know Nick for who he is. I mean, they know traditionally what a Grimm is, and they've probably heard hearsay, but I mean, you can't necessarily know until you meet him. I mean, unless you're part of Bud's group of people who love Nick, they're like his Nick fandom, then essentially all you know is, it's kind of grim racism, but all you know is that he is different than you.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the thing that's Nick has been most, this really driven the story forward, or like in this world, is that Nick is changing the balance. He is a Grimm who doesn't behave like a Grimm, and people don't know what to do with it, and it's upsetting the balance. Ooh. What if Nick in his changing the way people think about Grimms and Wesen, what if he inspired the uprising?
Oh.
Like, just the fact that there is one Grimm that there's a person out there, a powerful person, willing to challenge the old ways is, like, all it would take to... But, like, if they're aware enough that they can't just, like, go to him and be like, we're going to change the world, man. We're going to do it. We're going to be the change that people need. Hope and all that.
Yeah.
Nick Burkhart for mayor. Wesen Council. Nick Burkhart for Wesen Council.
Sure.
Hashtag Burkhart for council.
Stop it. I think also, going back to the lawyer lady not wanting her in the office, or him in the office, I feel like also she is like a shady lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So she probably had to try a lot of defend a lot of the people that he put away.
Oh, maybe.
That would make sense.
I would love a like Law and Order style follow up, because we never get it. Like all these really complicated Wesen cases where you're like, real world without the Wesen stuff, your evidence is circumstantial at best.
Yeah.
Well,
how do you get them behind bars?
So Mr. Goku Jr. says law and Wesen rhyme, which is great. Also, people are really upset about my KKK reference.
What is upsetting them?
That I compared Grimms to KKK.
I mean, classic Grimms are. I'm gonna say it, but like classic Grimms are. They're basically like
terrorists.
Yeah, they're basically terrorists. They go around and go, "You're not human, kill it." Like, I mean, it's the same, but same.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Nick. We're talking about traditionally what
traditional
a Grimm does.
Grimms just went out and killed every Wesen. That's the thing. Bud is an ice beaver. A Grimm who met Bud in the 1800s would have just murdered Bud.
Right.
Bud would be dead.
Yeah.
And Bud, all he wants to do is work on refrigerators and have his big old mystery family that may or may not exist.
He murdered them all. If you don't know what we're talking about, check out those interviews on Yael.tv.
But so it's not a wrong analogy, because a lot of Grimm are evil. Now, I think that there is that a lot of Grimm don't necessarily seek out the non-violent ones, and they probably do let them be.
Yeah.
And they only go after the dangerous Wesen or ones that are causing problems.
Yeah.
But that said, like, there's a reason that everyone's afraid of Grimms, and it's not just because of bedtime stories. Most Grimms are violent and dangerous.
Right.
Yeah. Nick changed everyone. And as Boo points out, the people who kidnapped Monroe, they're much more
absolutely
of a better comparison. And by better, I mean literally that's like they're like, hey, look, it's the KKK. Look at their hoods. It's totally the KKK.
Absolutely.
And see how they're red? It's also Nazis.
Yeah.
Have you figured out what we're doing with these stories yet?
You know their symbol? What does it look like to you? Does it look like a flaming cross? Does it look like a cross and a swastika put together? No? Let's make it more like that. Crostica?
Crostica.
Okay.
Oh my God. Moving on.
Hashtag.
Okay.
But I mean, to kind of piggyback off of your point, I would say that if anything, the SGO is more inspired by Nick than the Uprising.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, mostly because, like, they seem to be, whatever they're doing, it seems to be more towards the good of all, whereas, like, the Uprising seems to just kind of be recruiting and causing disaster. They are an elite group of murderers with a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into what, like, I think was really the biggest part of this episode, because as I was saying before, I think that the Weson of the Week story really did more to inform Nick and Adalind than it did drive the arc of the show forward in any way. What are you guys feeling right now about the Adalind? This super awkward. Okay, well, you guys think about it. Let's recap. Let's recap a little bit. Well, while Tauri collects himself.
I'm a basket case.
No.
Go.
But, like, so we opened up on them, like, just totally just domestic, normal parents' problems. Oh, I've got to cook the rice, but the baby's crying. I think you should take care of the baby. I'll cook the rice. I don't know how to cook the rice. What do I do? Does he have colic? I don't know what colic is. Somebody call a doctor. We don't know any doctors. We know someone who runs a spice shop. That's close enough. No, we're 4 hours away from that. Yeah.
I got excited. You started it. Go on.
Doctor Who on AfterBuzz TV tonight at 10 p.m.
Great.
Pacific Standard Time. Anyway.
Okay.
So what do you guys? I want to know what you guys think.
I say it every week. I like that they're building this relationship. I like that she again says, "Thank you for taking care of us. I know that you don't have to do this." And he constantly says, "This is my son and I want to be there." And then she says, "I want you in my bed." And I love the way she says it, is because I know you'll kill anything that walks through that door.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that is such a turn on. But, like, I love that they're building it, and they really are building it nice and slow in a way that makes sense.
Right.
And the writers are really taking their time, because I personally felt that last season the fans literally jumped ship way too fast. And I appreciate that we're taking time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm waiting for them to get in an argument. Because I feel like the transition has been so perfect, where they essentially moved into this house and become this ultra team of baby/cookers/ pseudo couple. And I'm just waiting, because Nick is being a really nice guy, and I feel like he's holding back whatever issues he might have in the situation. And I feel like it would be, to me, more realistic if at some point he's like, I can't do this anymore, and like they have like a traditional couple blow up. Maybe that will end in them actually like doing it and stuff. But like essentially that's what I'm waiting for. Well, yeah,
fingers crossed.
You got the little hint of when he looked back at her bra, and it's like, ho ho ho, lady in the house.
There's underwear over there.
I mean, also somebody, Lydia's pointing out, Nick was shirtless. We cannot forget that. Girl, no one's forgetting that. It was, it's been a long time since we've seen that. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally, they went through so many pieces of, like, what it is to be in a relationship without, like, literally everything but contact.
Right.
Of any sort. Like, they're sharing a bed. And having conversations about, I don't, like, should I go back to work? Is it too soon? Like, our baby has to be taken care of. Whose turn is it to use the shower? But it's awkward. Here's my thing with Nick and Adalind, and it's part of what makes this so awkward to watch, is that while I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, I want these two to get together. They work they go together so well that they seem perfect at this point. So of course, why don't they just hook up and jack up and get rid of the cot?
They need time.
I'm getting to my point.
Okay.
Yeah, he's vamping. He's vamping.
Go.
But as soon as we step back from that, and I think about, even for a second, the situation that they're in, it's like, I don't want these two to get together. Do you know how messed up that is? This is like, let's not forget, like, this is a woman who attempted to murder his fiance multiple times, pretended to be his fiance in order to have sex with him, which in turn cost him his powers. Then, because of that, it was a direct result, basically a direct result of his fiance getting killed because of her actions. And now, like, yes, it's not like he's just jumping right into bed with her, but to get involved with her at all is it's weird at best.
Are you also forgetting that she just died? Juliet just died a few months ago.
Yes. But that's why I'm saying, like, it's not like he's jumping into bed with her right away.
Right.
Like, they're letting time pass.
Come on, Zach. It's all water under the bridge.
I mean, he seems to have forgiven her.
Well, there is one thing that I think could forgive all of that. If we look at Juliet.
The Gamer Girl 2330 says, also she tried to kill Aunt Marie. Way back in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
That almost seems like passe compared to everything
all the
else.
Others ish she's done.
But my point, like, the one thing that I think might alleviate that is if we get a little bit more into how being a Hexen Beast and not being a Hexen Beast alters who you are. Because we saw very clearly Juliet before and after Hexen Beast were two completely different people.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Adalind now is Adalind minus the Hexen Beast. So I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think it's fair to think of Hexen Beast Adalind and non-Hexen Beast Adalind as two different people?
I think yes, but they're still... I think they're two separate people, and I think that eventually, he'll be able to come to terms with that, but that's not something you easily get over, especially when you look at them and that's what you see.
Right. I can't think of them as two separate people in that, essentially, yes, the Hexen Beast enhances your more primal aggression. But I feel like she was still in control. It was still her will. I do think that, yes, she is definitely arced to where, I mean, we've gotten to a point where she was evil, then she was desperate, and now she is in a place where she can improve and she can be the character that we want her to be. So, but I don't think that you can necessarily separate her from her previous actions.
Okay. I mean, Mr. Goku Jr. Makes an interesting point comparing it to the vampirism on Buffy. Which, when you became a vampire in Buffy, you lost your soul. So you lost your soul and you lost your morals as part of that. So you couldn't necessarily be blamed. And it was only once you got your soul back that you began to question what you were doing, i.e. look at Angel or Spike in later seasons.
Right.
And they were very different people. The same person at the core, but with an entirely different set of morals and viewpoints, which is very much what makes up a person, especially in terms of how you feel about them, especially in love, is like a person's moral center is, for a lot of people, what you love about someone.
And Group Maniac points out that Adalind's almost going through what Juliet went through, but in reverse. She's going from evil Hexen Beast to more empathetic human.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we're going to keep building that. And if we for me, keeping that in mind...
Sorry, Darth just points out that Nick and
the chat roll keeps interrupting me, I don't appreciate it, Yael.
They just... Darth realized that Nick and Sean are wiener cousins.
Eskimo brothers.
I had to read it.
Yeah, it's
I couldn't help it. They have been for a while, but whatever, go on.
That's what you interrupted me for, Yael?
It's very important.
It's really funny.
You know, my deep moving point about Adalind and morals and souls and how she's going to behave as a person going forward and how we should treat her to make an Eskimo Brothers joke.
Yep.
Moving on then. Let's move on. Before we get into Monroe and Rosalee in this episode, Trubel and Renard, I want to talk real quick about iTunes and our giveaways. Because we have a giveaway as we've been saying. No, Gamer Girl, it's not your job to interrupt me. It is my job to interrupt me, as I'm doing now. So I want to. We as we know, we've been giving away the Monroe mask from Comic-Con this season, and we've given away one so far.
Oh, this will be the second.
This is going to be the second. So we to what would be the best name for Trubel babysitting? The funniest name for what that book show web series would be called. And we went to Twitter, and I think I'm going to have to give the mask to Mr. D Style 90 at L Darrell for Baby Trouble.
Nice.
Yeah. It's good.
Because, babies are, it's very succinct, it's very clear, but it's got the perfect amount of that Trouble pun that we all love.
Yeah.
It'll never live up to Trouble in Paradise. But it's a solid start.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who sent them in.
Yeah.
And Mr. D Style, send us a note on Twitter and send me a direct message, and we'll figure out how to get you your mask thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Yael, I think, is going to tell us how you can win the next one.
Yes. Guys, because there is no new episode next week, you have time. Yeah. But you have time to do the next challenge, which is fan art. That's right. We know we have amazing, talented followers out there, and we are very excited. We want you to submit fan art of the panel and Grimm, whatever you want. Yeah. And you have until the 5th of December to do it, because we will be showing it, all the fan art, and choosing a winner on the 6th of December, right here live on the after show. So
get it in by the 5th, so we have time to get it
gather
everything.
it,
so we can gather it and put it in the system, so we can show it to you guys and all that.
So use the hashtag ABTV Grimm so that we can find it, and we will gather all of your art. You can do it via Twitter. I don't think you can do it on YouTube, but I will accept for those who want. They can also put it on my Facebook page, and I'll bring it in.
All right.
So look for me on Facebook, Yael Tygiel, Yael TV, YAEL.TV.
And if Twitter, for whatever reason, you can't get it to us, just send us a note on there, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've never had any fan art done for any of my shows.
I'm excited to see what kind of creative, grim stuff they do.
That'd be cool. I hope that we all end up being different Vesons.
Yeah.
Mr. Goku Jr. wants to know, what kind of Veson do you think Yael would be?
I have no idea.
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, we're leaving it to you guys.
I have no idea.
The worm.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Don't we all?
All right.
We'll take art in forms of drawing, painting, or Photoshop, whatever you guys want.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Express yourself.
On iTunes, you guys know how much iTunes helps us out. It's really a big support. It's how we've gotten some fantastic guests in the past. It's helping us get potentially, hopefully, more guests further this season. We're still working on some stuff, but stay tuned. Down the line, I think we're gonna have some very exciting stuff. So look forward to that in the future. But iTunes is a great way to help us out. It helps the show keep the show searchable, helps keep our lights on, and it helps everyone know how good a job we are and how much you guys are enjoying us. Help us keep the show at the quality that you all want, expect, and deserve. So I want to give a shout out to Saturn9 Kalina, who says, love this show. Excellent podcast. I followed this panel over from the Doctor Who after show and wasn't disappointed. Also, Meisner swooning is the best thing ever.
I'm glad someone appreciates it.
I want fan art of Yael and Meisner's wedding.
Oh, that'd be
Who doesn't?
good.
I like Stephen Wheeler says, I think they're all ice beavers. And Mr. Goku asks, can we just use Photoshop? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever medium. We're not picky.
Yeah,
no. All right, let's get into the rest of this episode because we got about 10 minutes left, and but some quick storylines. Monroe and Rosalee.
Yes.
I just want to. They were very cute in this episode.
Yeah.
As always.
They're always adorable.
Would you slay a dragon for me? I'd slay a whole flock of dragons.
Or whatever you call a group of dragons. Great.
Yeah, not much to say there. But what am I saying? Not much to say there. Rosalee got a letter in the mail.
Yes.
From somebody that Carlos is dead.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? This is clearly from her days when she had a drug problem and was involved in that whole scene. Do you think those people are coming? When they don't hear back from her, I have to imagine that they're coming to Portland.
I think we're building towards something. I don't know what or how, but I think that's definitely... Because you were telling me that at San Diego she mentioned something about her darker past catching up to her. And I believe she said something similar when I was in Portland. So I think we're headed somewhere. That's all.
Okay. Fair enough.
All.
Yeah. I definitely think that, they're coming this way. And I think that essentially, because we know that she's been kind of dealing with a lot of trauma recently. So I think it'll be a nice, good way to kind of slip her back into drugs and all that stuff. Or at least have an episode where they come and they're like, hey, join us again. And we get to see her triumph over her past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Renard and the potential new mayor.
Yeah.
Well, this seemed like a massive, like they're starting off a massive storyline with this. They dropped it in for like this mini scene.
Yeah.
But it had no connection to the rest of the plot.
Yeah.
And has it seems like they're setting it up for it to have massive implications.
It kind of feels like the new Royals.
Right.
Like, well, we don't have the Royals, so let's just do local government and stay in town. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I don't know, you guys all watch Arrow.
Yep.
It felt like very much a blood moment where it was like, hey, it's this guy who's trying to get everyone's favor, and he's trying to be mayor, and he's part of this dark organization.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what Renard knows about him. He knows that he wants to know more.
Right.
And it's super shady for this mayoral candidate. He's like, I really could use your support, Sean. All right, that's cool. I'm happy to help. I just want to know what your policies are. Before I decide to endorse you, what am I endorsing? What do you stand for? We'll be in touch. I really could use your help on this. It's going to be a great thing. Yeah, but you didn't. That was a pretty big question. If I'm going to give you an answer.
Hey, details.
Ivan Soto in the chat says, kind of boring, actually. And Lydia points out it's another Damien Dark and Hive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to, once we get a little bit more, here's the interesting thing. Actually, I think the chat roll beat me to it before I could get it said on air. But do you think that this is just this mayor guy is a red herring, and we're gonna maybe Renard runs for mayor?
Oh yeah, I feel like we're headed that way. It, again, reminded me of Arrow. Well, if there's no one good running, I'll run.
Right.
Apparently, Renard is really well respected in this community.
Well, yeah, he's the police captain.
Yeah.
And he's handsome.
Yeah, but there's a lot of murder in this town.
And what do? They solve those crimes.
Not all the time.
They make the crimes disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of murder. I when you have that high of a crime rate, the police commissioner is not often looked at as the good guy.
Hey, they're not preventative. They're responsive.
Elaine in the chat says he's not a politician. He's a politician, so he'll end up being dirty. And I say, good.
Well, technically, as police commissioner, he is already dirty.
Yeah,
but he is already not obeying the rules as police commissioner. Now, as from our perspective, he's doing the right thing. Captain,
Not
I apologize.
commissioner.
You're right. He's a captain.
Yeah. Grimaniac says Wu should run. Mayor Wu. I'd vote for Wu.
Yeah.
I don't want to promote Wu to captain.
I want Wu to be mayor. Let's just jump ahead.
Anyway, but he's already disobeying all the rules, and we see him doing it for the right reasons, but he's not good at, like, this is the law, we should uphold the law. It's like, well, this guy's really dangerous, so you can murder him, I guess, Nick.
Yep.
Yeah. For the good of the community.
Yeah, for the good of the community, go commit some murder.
There's a conversation going on about how high the crime rate is, and the answer is about as high as Gotham's.
That's not good. That's really bad.
Yeah.
One murder a week is a very bad statistic. Not like a vehicular manslaughter thing, like an accident or something. No, cold-blooded murder every week.
It's also more than one a week.
Yeah,
It's usually
a
massacre.
serial.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, in what, 5 years they've had roughly 100 serial killers.
Yeah.
In this city.
Yeah.
Almost. Almost 100.
Yeah. What are we at? Like 95 or so?
No, less. I don't remember. Go on.
Yeah,
We're very close to
12
100
is
episodes
100,
is the
right?
point
Yes,
that
12
I'm
is
getting
100. I
at.
don't do
Yes.
math. 90.
We're on 4, so we have 8 left.
92.
So 92.
I did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Can we get to trouble?
Yes, it's time to talk about Trubel.
Okay.
What's happening here?
There are so
almost
many
spilled my
fan
water.
theories. While you drink your water, there's so many fan theories. The entire first half of the chat before we even started were people talking about Trubel. The consensus is that she found where Nick lives because of the phone, right? He reminds us of Chavez's phone, which I was told to keep it and that he'd call me and he's not calling me. It's clearly the way we're tracking you, you moron.
Right.
You're a police detective.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that while I was watching this episode. Yes, he has a smartphone which all have GPS. This is a super advanced smartphone because it can read your thumbprint on the screen.
Right.
Of course they can track your location, you idiot.
What kind of detective are you? Anyway, the other question that everyone's asking is, was she released or did she escape? And because she looked beat up, right?
Yes.
So
She looked beat up, but the last we saw of her was her walking calmly
Right.
with Meisner down the hallway.
absolutely.
You just broke into a smile the instant I said the word Meisner.
I can't help it. He's pretty. Also, was she brainwashed? Is it a setup? Is her going to Nick like this a setup?
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100%. This is a setup. The question is whether she's doing it of her own free will or
Right.
not is fair, and I honestly don't know. I think, tying back to my theory earlier, where the uprising is somehow inspired by Nick. I think that she is doing it intentionally. That she needs Nick to just get down there before, so that they can be in the same place with everyone and have that conversation. For whatever reason, they think that Nick shouldn't be told.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Trubel's brainwashed. It doesn't ring true to me. There's a lot of factors here, and I honestly don't. There's some stuff I don't know how to justify, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. But what are you guys thinking?
Well, everyone in the chat room keeps saying it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah, so I needed to say it. I feel like I agree that her arrival seems like a setup for Nick for some reason. I don't think she's brainwashed. I agree with you, but I don't know what the point is of her doing this to set him up for something or get him to do something. I don't understand why. I'd like to believe that she was beat up on purpose and that she was aware of it, as opposed to she got into a fight and had to escape.
Yeah.
But is playing that she escaped, which I don't understand, and I really hope we get answers.
Elena Davis says maybe they want Adalind's baby. I don't think that they want Kelly.
Again?
And that's the thing. I don't think they're going to do that storyline again, one. But two, I don't think that Kelly is and this is a real messed up thing for Kelly to hear down the line. I don't think that he is as special as Diana.
Yeah.
But Diana is part royal, and we
Right.
still don't fully understand what that means, but it is important.
Right.
There is a mystical power behind behind having royal blood.
I think it also has to do with the fact that she's royal and just on the royal line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the words Jessica Jones in the chat roll, and now the chat roll is closed.
So Amber also said, I think the wounds are self-inflicted. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
We've been predicting throughout this episode, so I think
Right.
we're gonna forego predictions for this week. Nick also just real quick found that little tunnel.
Yeah.
I think that is exactly how Trubel wound up there. I think, or it's tied to the Resistance or
yeah, there
whatever
were
this.
a lot of theories
The
with the
secret,
keys
the
opening.
SGO,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Sure.
I think it's tied to that big bolt door.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
All right. We'll be back in 2 weeks, guys. Just a reminder, Grimm is off for Thanksgiving, but we'll be back soon.
December 6th.
December 6th. It will be our next show.
Mark your calendars.
It's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah.
I like it. It's exciting. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun.
Because we're going to show your fan art as well.
And there's
yeah.
apparently a giant rat.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla rat.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's going to be a fun show.
Episode
Be
takes
sure to
place
tune
in
in
New
live.
York.
I think we might do another live giveaway for the Monroe mask and some other fun stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys should tune in live. It's going to be a fun show.
Yes.
Until then, until 2 weeks from now, Yael Tygiel.
Tweeted us your live art. My Twitter is at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Or put it on Facebook at Yael Tygiel. Also on Yael TV. Go.
Sweet. And you can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at that Zach Wilson, THATZACHWILSON, and a whole bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. Doctor Who with these fantastic folks over here tonight at 10. Until 2 weeks from now, I'm Zach Wilson. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.